Good morning, everyone. Today, we'll be starting with a new chapter, an elementary school classroom in a slum. In the previous lecture, we have studied about the chapter, The Lost Spring, the stories of a stolen childhood. Now, this chapter is related somewhat to that chapter only, but here we are talking about the pathetic conditions in which the slum students are studying, what kind of classrooms they are having, and how, in spite of studying, they know that their future is dark, what kind of problems they are facing, and how their future is covered by the thick cloud. Right? Their future is covered by the thick cloud and they cannot see any ray of hope. Stephen Spender was an English poet and essayist. He took a keen interest in politics and declared himself to be a socialist and a pacifist. In an elementary school classroom in a slum, he has concentrated on themes of social injustice and class inequalities. Through the example of slum children, he attacks those who are exploiting the weaker sections of the society. Means he has, thrown light on the conditions of the primary schools, of the condition in the kind of classrooms they're studying and what kind of facilities they have been deprived of. They are not even provided with the basic education facilities which they deserve. And how, purposely their future is being thrown into dark. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round the pallor. Pallor means shoulder. The tall girl with her weighed down head. The paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes. The stunted, unlucky hire of twisted bones. Reciting a father's gnarled disease means twisted bones means he has carried a disease from his father. His lesson from his desk at back of the dim class. One unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of a squirrel's grain. In tree room other than this. Now the poet here describes the pathetic and miserable condition of the children sitting in a classroom in a slum school. They are far away from the beautiful sights of nature. They look weak and hungry. Their unkempt hair looks like rootless weeds. Rootless weeds means unwanted. On their pale faces, unlike other school children who are usually energetic and full of life, these children seem withered and lifeless, tired and lifeless. The children of the slum are also unwanted in society, just as weeds are unwanted in the garden. A tall girl in the classroom is very depressed. She keeps her head down, being burdened by sad thoughts. The girl is perhaps physically and mentally exhausted due to her poverty. So it's describing the condition, the background from where these children are coming and how they are already burdened by the society, by the sad thoughts of the society, and how that feeling has taken over them that they are unwanted in the society, right? It shows how undernourished these children are and how at such a very young age they have been attacked by several diseases and how still they are unable to get a proper treatment for it. They are, the kind of life they are living, it's like they are unwanted by the society. They are being attacked by the diseases, but there is no one to care. They are undernourished. They are not able to arrange a 2-day meal, but still no one cares for these students. They are there in the classroom, but they are burdened by the society. They are burdened by the negligence of the society. One boy sitting in the class is as thin as paper. Means it shows how undernourished these children are. He has big eyes like those of a rat, means hunger is there in his eyes. Yet another boy in the classroom has inherited his father's arthritis. Because of the disease, he has stunted growth and his bones are twisted. He is reciting his lesson. In contrast to the children from affluent family backgrounds who inherit property and wealth from their parents, the slum children inherit diseases from their parents. There is another sweet boy sitting in the back of the class. He's sitting there unnoticed and dreaming of his squirrels playing in a tree. The dull and monotonous atmosphere in the classroom is perhaps unable to arrest his attention. Means there is one boy who's unnoted, who is sweet and young, and who is lost in his own dreams, right? And the dull atmosphere of the class, it is unable to attract him. He is lost in his own world of dreams. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, belled flowery Tyrolese valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with the fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. The walls of the classroom are pale and dirty and give a rather unpleasant feeling. On these walls, many donated items have been put up. Many donated means the donated, whenever a minister comes up or whenever anyone is here for the visit, right? They donate something or the other. So the wall has been decorated with those donated items. These represent the world of the rich and prosperous. There is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall. The picture of domes of big cities represent the quality of life in those cities. The early morning sky is shown as cloudless in another picture. There is also a picture of the beautiful Tyrolese Valley, a region in the Austrian Alpine province adorned with flowers. The world map, which divides the world into countries big and small, symbolically gives the children the whole world. Now, all these donatory things, the donatory things with which the walls have been decorated, the children are unable to connect because somewhere they are reflecting the rich and affluent classes of the society. Somewhere they are representing a world which is far beyond their reach. For these children, right, their world does not exceed beyond the window of the classroom, right? Their life, they know that they'll not be able to move out of the slum area. The slum which has been covered by the lead sky, means it is so polluted. The slum area is so polluted that the sky is not visible to them. The sky is not clear to them, and they are living in that polluted area, dying slowly and slowly. And they compare their future to the lead sky, covered with the lead sky. They don't have a clear future. They don't have a bright future, and they feel they will never be able to see a clear sky. And that is why these world maps, these pictures of Shakespeare, these pictures of Tyrolese valleys, they hold no importance in their life. And for them, they are the lifeless paintings. But all these pictures have no meaning to these impoverished children. The world depicted on these walls is not the world of these children. Their world does not contain huge domes or prosperity or the scenic beauty presented in the picture. Unfortunately, their world is painted with fog, the fog of helplessness and hunger. Their future is grim and uncertain and sealed with a dark and dull sky. The poet again says that their world is far away from the actual world of rivers and capes. These things are like stars in the sky, which they cannot touch. Now class, what you will do is, you will go through the poem till stanza 2. You will go through the lecture, read the lecture, and if any query is there, you will raise your questions on the WhatsApp group. And also till here, you will create a storyboard of the chapter with dialogue boxes. Till here. Draw a storyboard for the chapter with images. That is your homework. Till stanza 2, you will do this homework. Thank you.